Welcome to Card Knock Life Plays. It has been a while since we've done one of these. Running a modern brew that I found in a German tournament online. I don't know many of the details because they are in German and I don't speak German. But I will put a link to credit the deck designer. I'm not going to try to pronounce his name because I will totally butcher it. Again, I don't speak German. Sorry. But this is a Jeskai tempo deck, which is very much like a red-blue Delver, or blue-red tempo deck from the Treasure Cruise days, and is built around a lot of the best prowess creatures. So we've got 4 Abbots in the deck, 2 Monastery Mentors, 4 Swift Spear, and a lot of really efficient instant and sorceries that cost 1 or 2 mana. Not a whole lot of counterspell effects because of the fact that you want to be prowess. You want to be casting your prowess spells during your turn in order to attack and get more damage out of them. But we do run a full 4 Serum Visions, 3 Gitaxian Probe, which is free prowess, and some Vapor Snags to clear the blockers out of the way, which is very reminiscent of those blue-red tempo decks that I previously mentioned. This deck doesn't run Delver, which is really interesting, and it kind of opts for spells that allow you to do more utility stuff and sort of go wide with Mentors or clear blockers with Grim Lavamancer while they're still just efficient beaters in the same vein. Now, Monastery Mentor's biggest issue in Modern is that he gets killed so easily by like a Lightning Bolt, for example, if you don't leave any mana open to Prowess twice and protect him. But with all of the one-drop creatures, it takes a lot of pressure off your Mentors because they are needing to remove things like Monastery Swiftspear and Grim Lavamancer and Abbot of the Curl Keep before you are actually dropping the Mentors. So I think this is like the right kind of shell for him, though I'm not convinced that he's better than Delver in this situation. I guess I'd have to see. It might be a matter of preference for what you really want to be doing with your deck. Spell Snare is great right now, and it's very good in this deck because a lot of the removal spells and counter spells that we need to be worried about, i.e. Terminate and Remand and Mana Leak, can be Spell Snared on your turn, which is a counter spell that's going to add to your prowess count. Okay, it's going to negate the removal spell and actually increase the damage that they're going to be taking, so that's very cool. Sideboard, we're running some Rest for the Weary against Burn because we shock a lot in this deck and get Tax and Probe ourselves for damage. So our aggro matchup is a little bit weaker for us. We've got Negates for the obvious removal and counterspell sorts of decks. It's good against Tron. Hurkyl's Recall for affinity matchups, another aggro matchup that we are pretty weak to. I'm thinking that I might try something else for these disenchants. In a lot of cases, there are a lot of matchups where I almost just want to leave my main deck as is and maybe make some really minor adjustments to just optimize my counter spells. But the matchups that are good for us are really good for us, and the matchups that are bad for us, we need to do our best to kind of work in some of the fixes. Typically, it's the aggro and the burn. So I don't know a whole lot about this deck yet because it's new to me, but I'm still kind of picking it up, and we'll run a few games and see what it's all about. Alright, so here is our first game with the Jeskai tempo deck. Looks like a really strong opening hand. 2 shock lands though, so I'm going to be hurting myself a little bit. Depending on what he's on, that's not going to be too much of an issue. But I do like the possibility here to go turn 1 Monastery Swiftspear Prowess. Functionally dealing myself 4 damage in order to get 2 in on him, but it does leave me in a position where I have plenty of cards in hand. Let's see here. Let's give it a shot anyway. He's on blue. Alright, so we're going to shock. Try this. And we'll try this. Worst case scenario is Vapor Snag is in there. Oh, it is. Blue Tron. Okay, this should be a good matchup for him. And we'll attack for 2 and pass. Alright, cool. And great news is we have a fetch land, so we can next turn pass the turn with the ability to not injure ourselves too much from the shocks. This is a pretty weak opening for him. It's only got one piece of the Tronfecta. Let's go with this one. And he drew the same piece. Power plant. We'll draw. Attack for 2. Alright. And so that leaves me the opportunity to remand his creature, which I really don't think is totally necessary. So we're going to go with Grim Lavamancer. Gotta get that online. My spell snares are going to do very little for me in this matchup. I don't think there are many spells that he plays that actually would cost 2 unless he's got any sort of like think twice action going on here, or remands, of course. That's okay. May grab a Mindslaver. Wormcoil Engine. Okay. And let's grab a blue-white land. Do I have another one? Maybe I don't. I guess I've got the only one in my hand. So let's grab a red-white land. Okay. I think we can go ahead and play the Abbot. Exile the top card. It's a Lightning Bolt. Great. Shock this in. We'll bolt this creature. And then we'll attack in for 3. Let's go, guys. Awesome. Alright, so not a very controlling start for him. He's got the Wormcoil in a few turns, but I should be able to kill him before he can even cast it. Cyclonic Rift is another thing I need to be worried about. Let's see here. I can do Serum Visions, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 damage with my creatures attacking. Let's start with the Serum Visions. Oh, Cryptic. Oh, Condescend. Concentrate spell unless his controller plays X. Now the question is, do I just allow that? I think I want to remand. That's a free prowess trigger for me. So I draw 1 for the serum, or 1 for the remand, 1 for the serum, scry 2. Let's keep that path on top. This looks good to me. And then I think the Abbot's okay on there. I think I might leave it how it is. So let's go with that. So we got prowess. We're going to increase our power and toughness here. And we're going to increase our power and toughness again. That's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's go with one of these. Another Serum Visions. Scry 2. Did I do that wrong? I think I screwed that up. I need to draw first. Oh, he's done. Okay. Alright, cool. We'll go on to game 2 then. Against Tron. Let's see here. Disenchant might be okay. I think I'm in a pretty good position against him. I'm going to take out the spell snares and go with some negates instead. Hurkyl's Recall is probably pretty good for me as well. I might just throw in one. Well, let's see. On the draw, yeah, we're going to put both of those guys in and get rid of the Dispel's coming in too. Let's get rid of the Lightning Helix. And let's just do one Hercules Recall for now. I'm not really familiar with the blue Tron, to be honest with you. But, oh, with Vapor Snags. I don't think we do. It removes the worm, it returns the worm coil engine to the hand, but I think we're better off just going with something else. Let's put the relics in there so we can't do a Mindslaver lock, and then we'll throw in the Hercules Recall. Okay, we'll try that. Now, Hercules is pretty bad in some situations. It's great for returning the worm coil engine tokens to his hand, but I don't want to be returning the creature that destroys all the lands when he comes into play, because that's going to activate or trigger it a second time, and also give him a chance to recast it and just totally blow my lands up. An 8-mana artifact creature is kind of the least of my worries, though I don't think that I have to be too concerned about that. Alright. This is doable. Pretty aggressive start. Alright, still thinking, huh? I don't envy him. I hate being in the position to have to decide my mulligans against a really aggressive deck like this. Very risky, it seems, in a lot of cases. Alright. So he's starting out down to 6. He gets to scry. It's something that we all gotta get used to a little bit. I do like the rule. I think it makes the bad beats a little less bad in a lot of situations. You mull down to 6 and then draw a bunch of non-lands. Feels really bad. And if you can scry one of those non-lands to the bottom of your library, you feel like you at least have some more control over the situation. But you can't beat variants sometimes. Alright, Expedition Map. And he's got a Tech Edge in play. Alright, let's see. We're going to shock. Yeah, we're going to shock the Steam Vents. And get in there with a Swift Spear. Alright, next turn we've got Serum Visions and whatever else we might draw into, but I'm going to get that Lava Mancer going right away too. It's probably one of the cards that I could have taken out of my list here for game 2. No, he wants to activate his Expedition Map, so I pretty much am free to do whatever I want this turn. I don't think he's going to really risk remanding a spell that costs 1 like that. Oh, he does. Okay. Huh, that seems bad for him because now I prowess twice. But he might really just need the card. And let's go with this here. We're going to fetch into an island. Alright, Monastery, Swift Spear, and Abbot. Let's put this guy on top of the library. Keep them both on there. Oh, that was a little backwards. No, I need to do that again. I don't want to Abbot into a Monastery's Mentor, but I do maybe want to draw Abbot next turn. Let's put the Mentor on the bottom of the library. I don't think that that's going to be doing me much good in this game. I don't want to go long. Alright, and then we can Texan Probe, Prowess. I suppose if I'm drawing, well, okay, yeah, sorry, that was a little sloppy of me. I'm drawing a card, so it doesn't really make a huge difference what the second card is on top. Alright, Spell Snare is something to be aware of for sure. He does have the Oblivion Stone. Gonna need to find an answer to that. Of course, he doesn't have the third land right now. So if he needs to waste his turn to Expedition Map into a land, he's not going to be able to cast the Oblivion Stone next turn. Oh, he drew one. Okay. So it's probably better for him to just hold. Let's go back to 1. Oops. Alright, drawing a card for my turn. Let's get the Scalding Tarn out there. I'm not going to play the Abbot into a Spell Snare. Spell Pierce is a little terrifying for me too, but this seems okay. Cool. And let's see, do we want to bolt him? No, let us attack for 2. Safely play my Grim Lavamancer. And pass. Texan Probe does a lot of good work in this deck. When you're playing a tempo strategy like this, knowing their hand is really important, as is demonstrated by what we're seeing right now. Let's go and dig for a blue-white land. Okay, that was maybe not the right one. Maybe I need a red-white land, but we'll go with that for now. Okay, so Snapcaster is going to be countered by Spell Snare. Spell Pierce is still around. I think we maybe need to draw out that Spell Pierce. Let's bolt him. Oh, alright, he's got to go. Well, that's what happens on Cockatrice. Sorry that I don't run Moto. I don't have a PC, but I think we get enough information from that battle. Look like we're going to be able to close that out pretty well. There is the first round with the Tempo deck. First thoughts on this, it seems pretty strong. I don't feel like I'm really missing out on Delver, but I don't really know exactly why it's not included in a deck that's running all these Serum Visions and all of the 1-drops and all the non-creature spells. It seems like it would fit pretty well. So one thought would be to maybe switch out the Grim Lavamancers and Monastery Mentors for Delver. Of course, these guys allow you to kind of have more utility, yeah, just something to think about. Monastery Swift Spear kind of holds the place of that 1-drop that gets aggressive, and then also has the combat tricks to boot. So against decks like Zoo, where you're dealing with a lot of creatures across the table, obviously Delver can fly over those, but Zoo is running a lot of Lightning Bolt and things to deal with it. Monastery Mentor makes those matchups a little more difficult for those guys to play. Definitely an interesting deck. I'm not sure about the sideboard yet. Disenchant seems a little weak. I don't know why we wouldn't run Wear and Tear. I think we're going to go into Wear and Tear instead. So, yeah, something to think about. Alright, thanks for watching.